Hi guys and welcome back. If you are new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so that you don't miss any of the free content that I share with the trading community here on YouTube. So I want to talk to you all today about why systems equal success, and the reason I'm sharing this is because systems really have changed my life, health-wise, finance-wise, even relationship-wise actually, as strange as that might sound. And the reason for this is twofold. Firstly, it's because systems bring clarity. They make things simple, they make things repeatable, and they make things trackable too. And secondly, they're brilliant at removing mistakes and keeping you on track because they do just that. They lay out a track to follow, to stay on without deviation. And what's more, they can be carried into so many productive areas of life. So let me give you a real life example. A few months ago, I hired a member of staff who I put in place to provide additional help and support to the traders that I work with. And I won't share her name, of course, but let's just say it was a definite struggle. So it was my first ever hire, and I wrongly presumed that it'd be easy for her to learn everything, and I wrongly hired someone with zero trading experience, thinking that I could teach them everything that they needed to know and pretty much just allow them to get to work. Now, it goes without saying that it didn't go too well. She didn't really know what to do when someone asked about, let's say, X. She didn't know where or when to log her work hours. She wasn't putting documents in the right place. It was just a mess. And it was all entirely my fault because I didn't put a system in place. So unfortunately, I had to let her go. And I spent a few days after this going over why things didn't work out as planned. And again, I realised it was because I didn't put a system in place. So I started all over again, and I fully mapped out everything that I needed someone who'd fill a position to actually do. I wrote out a document that explained everything. I put a Google Drive in place for all the documents. I set up a way to log work hours effectively on a daily basis. I literally made the entire process of providing support pretty much a black and white system, so that whoever I took on next, I could just hand them the system, hand them the blueprint, and then they'd have the rules to follow. I.e., when you're done for the day, log your hours here in this way. When someone asks for Z, you can find it in Y and you deliver X, etc. I just made the entire job a system, a process. And then I hired my now assistant, Paul, who's just absolutely brilliant. And it's just been so easy, so simple, so straightforward. Just the complete opposite of the original experience, that first experience of hiring. Simply put, when I didn't have a system or a plan, everything fell to pieces and it was just a complete failure. Whereas when I did have a system and I put that in place, I put a plan in place, a framework in place, everything clicked and was just completely easy and genuinely entirely effortless too, which was fantastic. Now, another example is, of course, trading. Back before I had systems and rules in place, I was pretty much making every mistake under the sun, as we all do. So I was moving to break even and then being stopped out there before the trade ran on to target. I didn't know when to trade or what markets to trade or why. I didn't know how to correctly size positions. I was exiting early, executing late, strategy jumping, just on. And I wondered why I was failing. It's because I didn't have a system. I know that now. I didn't have a process. I didn't have a plan. And I just wish I knew that a lot sooner. So for those of you watching this today who are trading without any structure or without a clear system to follow or a blueprint, what you'll be experiencing is a lot like what I experienced when I hired that first assistant. Things will be all over the place. Things will be complicated. You'll have no idea why X isn't working or why Z isn't working. And it'll just be a nightmare, just like it was for me. The good news though is that you can get past the struggles. And the way to do this is by implementing systems, in my opinion and from my experience. You know, putting rules in place, putting a framework in place. And again, what this does is it brings clarity. It makes things repeatable and trackable. And overall, it makes things simple and actually understandable too. Another personal example is my health. Now, I'm 6'1", I'm mid-build, not particularly fat, but just normal. But for years, I wanted to just have a flat stomach, have a six-pack. And I know that's a little bit egotistical perhaps, but you know, I was going to the gym. I was working hard there. I was doing everything under the sun, or so I thought. And I just couldn't get a flat stomach. I couldn't get a six-pack. And I didn't really have any idea why, because I thought I was doing everything right. Now, long story short, now that I understand systems, I know exactly why I was struggling, because I didn't have a system. I didn't have rules in place to actually follow. I didn't have a framework. So I'd exercise a few times a week, try to drink more water, try to eat healthy and so on, but nothing was concrete. Sometimes I'd do an hour at the gym lifting weights, sometimes I'd run and do cardio, sometimes I'd do HIIT training and so on, but it was just all over the place. Now, long story short, for those of you who know me personally or maybe who follow me on Twitter, for the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've finally put a system in place. So I've put rules in place, and what these are is 45 minutes of running every day, 45 minutes of lifting weights every day, 8 pints of water every day, no sugar, no alcohol, no snacks, and no fast food. And surprise, surprise, 4 or 5 weeks in now, I've finally actually achieved it. My stomach is flatter than it's ever been. You can see my abs, you know, and after all these years, after never really knowing why I was always struggling and why I couldn't get results, all along, all I had to do was just follow a bloody plan, put a set of rules in place, and the results have come in, 4 or 5 weeks rather than the last 4 or 5 years that I've wasted trying to do it without a system in place. Also, just very quickly, if you are enjoying the video today, it'd be really great if you take just a second to hit the like button and perhaps leave a comment. That'd really help me, if that's okay with you. So it really does go to show the power of systems, both in and out of trading. Systems, for me, they really have been the answer and that solution that I was looking for to so many problems. Business, health, trading, hiring staff. They're all so easy to fail at, but the most common reason for failing is not having a system in place, not having a proven process in place. So if you are watching this and you want to up your health, or you want to build a business perhaps, or coming back to the nature of this channel, you want to gain profitability as a trader, again, take it from me, from someone who's been through those failures and finally come out the other side. Put systems in place and honestly just watch the results suddenly follow. They always have for me, and I'm hoping by sharing this video it'll be the same for you too. Anyway, I hope that helps. I hope that's triggered some inspiration for you. I'll leave it there for today, and as always, trade with Edge, with consistency, and I look forward to having you back here on the channel soon. Thanks everyone.